morning, everybody. We have a major scene here. West Greenwich. The entire home is blocked off here. Into a crime scene. We're going to try to navigate a little bit. As you can see, police are on scene. And this entire home, I want to move out of the sun, is blocked off.
How you doing?
Hi, officer. Folks, again, this is the home. Again, we are live right now, Rhode Patrol, West Greenwich. We're going to try to find the best angle. But for those that are just tuning in, this is West Greenwich. And this entire home, you can even see the officer right in front of the house. I'm going to wait just a moment. Police are speaking with some individuals that are in front of the home. And then we're going to relocate a little bit for a better scene. There's Danielle. Okay, it's Friday, and we have a major crime scene right here in West Greenwich. I'm going to move and get a better shot in just a moment, folks. Again, this is Rhode Patrol Live, West Greenwich. No surprise, first one on the scene. Now, I've heard a couple things, but I'm going to wait until we get a little bit more of a confirmation. Everyone, just bear with me. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to be in and out of our vehicle simply because it's so cold out. Police are speaking with these individuals right over there. Okay, as soon as they leave, then we're going to go back to where we were in the front. It's just giving them a little bit of privacy. Again, right now, this is West Greenwich, Rhode Island. And this is, you can see the entire home here is essentially blocked off as a crime scene. All the way through into the backyard. And then you see an officer right there, standing guard, right there at the front door. And I can see some officers, I believe inside the home. So now this entire property, as I said, I'm going to move right back in the front of the house in just a moment, but I am trying to give police who are communicating with some people that pulled up. We'll give them another minute and then we'll go. Now, again, I know people are wondering exactly what's happening. I'm going to pull together some information. If you know information, you can certainly contact. But West Greenwich, for those that are unfamiliar, very rural. I don't think they had any homicides last year. I'm going to give police another moment with these individuals in front of the house, but then we're going to move in. So, hi, officer. All right, we're going to try to find out. I think the chief is on scene. We're going to see if we can find out anything from the chief of police. See if he's going to give any type of statement. Folks, again, it's Friday. It is right now 11:24 in the east. We're in West Greenwich. Now, I'm going to hold on. I have heard a few things, but we want to wait and see if we can get some confirmation. but this is a major crime scene. I want to I'm going to try to make contact with the chief. And I want to explain the reason why I believe some of the people that showed up could be family or connected to whose ever residence this is, just so people are clear. Officer? Do you know, is the chief going to make a statement at all?
Most likely.
He
Most
is.
likely when we get there, we're not there yet.
Okay, understood. All right, he said yes, but we're not there yet. All right, I do want to move. All right. I think these individuals are moving, so we're going to move to the front. Folks, trying to be a little sensitive. This is obviously, now for those that are, this looks like a very, very serious scene. I'm hearing multiple things. I'm going to hold off on that until we hear from the chief. We did just see an officer going door to door, trying to get witness statements. So this is still. No, okay. I thought they were going through my vehicle. Good morning. All right, we're going to move to the front. I mean, I'm sensitive to who these individuals are, but here you can see West Greenwich Police here on scene into the front. As you can see, this police presence is building. It's not getting smaller, it's getting larger. Again, right now we're live on both TikTok and Facebook. If you're on TikTok, make sure you follow the page, tap the screen. This is West Greenwich, Rhode Island. If you're on Facebook, you want to follow the page. You can also share, especially if you know anyone in the West Greenwich area. This is a dead-end street in West Greenwich where clearly, I really want to be on the other side of this, but I'm trying to be sensitive to, well, there you can see the name on the mailbox, actually. Try to avoid that if we can. But the people that are in that car are kind of preventing it. I'd rather be on another angle. All right, we're going to try to relocate, folks. I'm not trying to be redundant here. Let's see. Again, let's see, 1228. Again, this is West Greenwich. We have a very active crime scene. You know, I don't know who those people are, but there's a much better shot that we can have farther down the street, and we're going to go for it. I won't show them, but here comes more police. Okay, so obviously, heavy police presence. We're going to move back down over here. I'm just moving this way.
No worries.
Yeah, it's tough with the sun. Folks, this is a little bit of a better shot that you can see of this crime scene that is established. Law enforcement right in front. Again, this is Cheyenne Trail in West Greenwich. And we haven't seen anything like this in a while, where the entire house is blocked off as a crime scene, and then you see the officer standing guard right in the front. So, if I can go right down here. Decent. You can see the West Greenwich officer standing charge. I want to be very clear. As of this moment right now, we don't have any. I mean, I have been told something. We want to hold off on giving out information. This is obviously a very active crime scene here. Right now, again, it's Friday afternoon, excuse me. This is Rhode Patrol Live, West Greenwich. You're looking live coverage. This is a very active live crime scene in what is normally a very quiet, very rural community. We're going to move back down to the other side. You can see huge police presence here. And this entire home is blocked off as a crime scene. Now, I am going to try to get some more information. An officer said that they do expect the chief is going to talk to us. And for those that are regular followers, as you can imagine, right now, first and only media that are on the scene. I don't think we had much dealings with West Greenwich police in the past. That's my knowledge. Not that I can think of. Still more police arriving. All right, state police are also here. So state police are also here. You're going to see a member of state police enter your screen in just a moment, right there. So there's a member of Rhode Island State Police. So it looks like they're going to be assisting West Greenwich with the investigation, as this entire home is blocked off. Where now you even have state police on scene. What do you think? Let's see. See them go in and out of the house. There's an officer approaching the house. I also want to repeat, there's some unconfirmed reports and information I have about this, and I am hesitant to mention anything like that due to the sensitive nature of this story. We're going to go back on the other side. he moves, we're golden. Again, this is West Greenwich. As we speak, I'm communicating with some people to try to get some more information. He is not moving. All right, we're going to move in just a moment. Morning. This. Okay, this is much better. Yeah, he's not moving. All right, again, I want to repeat. This is, let's see, it's 12:37, Friday. No. You're looking, this is live coverage. We have a huge crime scene. State Police, West Greenwich Police, in West Greenwich, Rhode Island. And this entire home on Cheyenne Trail is blocked off as a crime scene, and police are guarding the door. You know, I just realized the only way we can do this is if I'm in the sun. This is the best shot, actually.
Alright.
All right. Right now. Okay. We're going to try to get you as much information as we can. You can see police are guarding the front door. Police are right here. What you're looking at. And again, good morning, everybody. This is Rhode Patrol Live. We are in West Greenwich, where State Police and the West Greenwich Police are on scene for this house. Now, what we're trying to do is I'm trying to also get you information. I am getting some. It's tough. I want to, and again, explain this is all happening in real time. On this windy Friday. Initially thought we'd try to do it from inside. Morning. There's more state police. You can see the officer standing guard right at the front. And again, this is a very active crime scene. Right now at 12:44, you're looking live. This is Rhode Patrol, West Greenwich. A very active crime scene. We are live right now on both Facebook and TikTok. Remember, you can share that you are watching on both. Make sure you... Oh, wow. All right, I have heard that. we have is, from what I understand, we have a major crime scene here. We're gonna wait to try to get, yep, that's exactly right. Thank you, Wanderlust. Now, they did say the chief would be giving a statement at some point. I don't know the chief. That could be him standing right there. It's a very quiet dead-end street, West Greenwich. I'm not sure who this is. All right, someone just pulled up. Could be a neighbor. Now, there's several questions we have here. Several questions. Obviously, looking at something like this, we have some people, person or persons unalived, number one. Number two, if that is the case, what I don't know is if the medical examiner has already been here. I don't know that. It's possible, but I don't know that. Now, this woman that just drove past is now walking past. So, I don't know. She could just be a neighbor. And if that's the case, we'll certainly respect her privacy. Police are now going to greet her. She does live in the house next door. Okay. Let's see. So there's a state police detective. Again, right now it's 12:48. You're watching our live coverage. This is West Greenwich. We have quite a scene. And I am getting some information, but we're going to withhold. There's still... Here you can see some detectives scouring the neighborhood. Good afternoon. Folks, these are state police detectives scouring the neighborhood. Now, and I want to stress, this is all, look at they're just now going door to door. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Now, good afternoon, everybody. I'm learning what's going on. It's very sensitive in nature. I am withholding information due to the sensitivity, and we want to get this confirmed. But what I am hearing right now is that we have multiple individuals here. And folks, the holidays are a very difficult time for people. And it sure seems as though something very tragic happened at this residence. Very, very tragic happened at this residence. And due to the sensitivity of it, I mean, and those of you that follow and watch, you know, if we have some information, we would certainly give it. But due to the sensitivity of this particular situation, we're going to hold off on it. But let me say this, and I recognize now, right now at 12:53 on this Friday, January 3rd, and we are the only news media outlet on site. If you're on Facebook, you can certainly show your appreciation. But when this story and the details come out, this will be a national story due to the nature of it. What I'm learning, what you're looking at right now, will be a national story. And I don't say that lightly. Many times things happen and they're not. They could, many times things happen and it's a local story. This will go beyond New England. This won't just be, and let me be very clear for so many new people that are watching, this isn't just going to be Rhode Island news. This isn't just going to make the news in Boston. This you will see on Fox, CNN, and everywhere else. Now, they did tell me, and I get that some people don't understand the significance, but we're the only ones on scene. The Facebook people do, I think. Folks, this is what I had promised everyone that follows this page, that we were going to go to another level in 2025. And this is like a good example of it. I do want to say, now we're going to go live. We're doing the real news live at 1 o'clock. Understood. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, we have a very serious situation here. We have a very tragic, serious situation here. And believe me, I recognize that there are people that are watching that are saying, just tell us listen, this is real life. This isn't a movie. It's not a TV show. They're trying to figure out what happened. Look how long New Orleans took, and that was with the FBI. This is what we are looking at right now. This is a very, very tragic situation. Wow. Boy, this New Year's off to a bad start. Wow. And I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to talk in code or anything like that. This is one of those stories that, due to the sensitive nature of it, you can't be wrong. And we're not going to be wrong. But it is as serious as it gets. Boy. Okay, now again, I know if you're watching, I understand. People are saying, well, we need more details, and you're going to tell us, and everything else. It doesn't work that way. I do want to say a quick hello to everybody. Good morning. As you can see, we're out here. This is Rhode Patrol Live on this Friday afternoon. This is West Greenwich. You can see the police right across the street. It is so cold out. I was initially just going to stay in my car and do this. But because of the importance of this and the nature of it, thank you for whoever sent that cap. Folks, this is what it's about. Supporting live stream coverage like this. This is what it's about. If you like this type of coverage, then this is the page for you. And when you learn what's going to happen, you're going to say, I saw that on TikTok. I saw that story. Wow. That's terrible. Wow, I saw Rhode Patrol Live was right outside the house as that was going on. So now I do believe, I do actually know. Pretty good handle on it. But we're going to wait. Due to the sensitive nature of this story, we're going to wait for the chief. It's that type of story. Let me say this, folks. This is one of those unimaginable stories, as a matter of fact. This is one of those, how could someone do this? That's what type of story this is. Tragically. But as I'm learning the details of it, that's what comes into my mind. I think we have our first news station showing up. I think I see someone carrying. Now, those of you who've been watching, this has almost been a full hour. And some people don't get it as far as the local news. But I want to show you, I think we have the first television station showing up here. About an hour into the coverage. Which is fine. Hey.
Anybody come out to speak?
No, the chief is on scene, and they said the chief would be saying something, but they didn't say when. But
So
the state
tomorrow at...
That's not what he said. That's not what he said.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah. But the state police are also here, so.
So we have to wait for them. She probably can't speak. It's not his jurisdiction.
folks, we are going to be live with real news coming up right now. Good. I want to say good afternoon to JR. And coming up in just a couple of moments, we're going to be using our Facebook live stream to also broadcast on our website, dpetro.com. Oh, good. And then you can also listen on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. We're going to be live in just 4 minutes from this breaking news scene right now in West Greenwich. So we've had a real horrific incident here, real tragedy that took place, and we're going to try and bring you the latest. Okay. Hi there. Okay, folks, 102. Now again, we're live in just 4 minutes for the real news. This breaking news out of West Greenwich. I want to remind people, so we are live on both Facebook and TikTok. The West Greenwich Police did say that they would talk to us at some point, but we're going to have to wait and see, because state police are also on scene. And I'm going to give you the latest that I've learned, unconfirmed, but from people connected to the investigation. But by the sounds of it, we've had a real tragedy here. Now, right now, 103, we're live. Good. We're live in just 3 minutes. With the breaking news out of West Greenwich. And I want you to also point out the entire home and backyard, everything is blocked off as a crime scene. Comes the state police again. Now, state police as we speak, I'll give you the full. I'm going to give you everybody a full recap coming up in just a moment. But this is a brutal story. Brutal story. Oh boy. Again, folks, this is Rhode Patrol Live. This will be the real news. We are live on Facebook and TikTok. We're going to give you this breaking news out of West Greenwich. Oh, good God. Okay, at 106, good afternoon. This is the real news. You're listening to us on right now, AM 1380, 99.9 FM. Now, you can always listen online at the website, dpetro.com. Now, right now, we are also live on both Facebook and TikTok. And for those that are watching live, or if you're just tuning into the radio, to AM 1380 or 99.9 FM, or in fact, if you're listening at the website, dpetro.com, What you're looking at is we have a breaking news situation out of West Greenwich where we've had a real tragedy. And right now, actually, I believe the crime lab of either state police or the West Greenwich police, no, it's the Rhode Island State Police crime lab, is just now arriving here on scene. For those that are watching, you can see it. The mobile crime lab is just now pulling up on scene, and they're directing them to go towards the end of the street. That's what you're seeing arriving right now. Now, it's my understanding, from what we understand, and those that, again, that are watching, and I understand it's a little bit of a balance between our audio part of being on the radio, but then also the video of this. Oh, they're going to pull right into the driveway. But what we've had, it's my understanding, is we've had a real tragedy here with multiple individuals involved, and tragically all related. So now we want to withhold. There is information, but due to the sensitivity of this story, we're going to hold off. It's too serious, but this, it's my understanding, this is not just, sometimes when we've been on a crime scene, it's a self-harm or something like that. That's not this. And again, what you just saw is the Rhode Island State Police Crime Lab arriving here on the scene, and you can hear the beeping of them just pulling up. So now that tells me that this is still in the early stages of this investigation. Now, I want to be very clear. So we're in West Greenwich, and you have West Greenwich Police, you have State Police, and the entire home on this dead end is blocked off. And it is, as I stated earlier, obviously we want to wait for official confirmation. They're still investigating. The West Greenwich Police said the chief is on scene, and the chief would speak to us at some point. But due to various sources connected to the investigation, it's my understanding that there have been multiple, whatever happened here involves multiple individuals. I also want to mention, I think it's, I'm not sure of, not to be, we're not going to be graphic here, obviously. We're trying to be sensitive, folks, because of the nature of this investigation and situation that you're looking at and listening to. But what is undetermined to me is whether or not a medical examiner has already been on scene. It's my understanding that, initially was that a medical examiner had been on scene, but I'm not as convinced of that, because a lot of times if they're going through a full crime scene, they would really leave the house exactly as is. So if the crime scene, state police crime scene lab is just showing up, I'm not convinced that the medical examiner has been here yet. So we're going to try to find out. But here's what you should know. What you're looking at or listening to. This is a real horrific incident that apparently took place here. Now, who is involved, the where and the when right now is unknown. But it's my understanding one of the individuals connected here, someone got suspicious because they had not heard from someone in quite some time. Now, I also want to just remind people, with the holidays, a lot of times people travel. You can go travel with the holidays, and some people are in town, some people are out of town. And my point is, so sometimes people lose track of if people are in town or out of town. But one of the things I want to mention is we have reason to believe, I should say. Reason to believe. Now, right now it's 1:11. but it's let's see, how can I say this while still be sensitive? Okay. Yeah. Something that you should, well, we don't know the age actually. We don't know the ages of everyone that may be involved, but we'll say that, let's see, I'm just going to do a hypothetical, folks, just so people get some understanding of it. If you have a child, they've essentially now, there's been no school. This is the second week of Christmas break. So it's 2 weeks of no school. And the reason I mention that is because hypothetically, if there was a child involved, they wouldn't have anyone noticing that a child didn't show up for school. That's what I'm trying to articulate, while being sensitive at the same time. But again, I want to be very clear right now. At 1:13 on this Friday, it is my understanding we've had a real tragedy here. This is West Greenwich, Rhode Island. Rhode Island State Police are on scene with assisting West Greenwich Police. Now, when we got here, there's still as you can see, the Rhode Island State Police Mobile Crime Laboratory just showed up, and as we were live, you were watching, the detectives were still just canvassing the neighborhood to speak with neighbors. So, I mean, that's about as early into the investigation as you can get. Now, for those that are unfamiliar, West Greenwich, it's very rural. This is a dead-end street. It's bitter cold outside. Obviously, you can see the people now inside the home, and we may move a little bit to try to get some of that footage. But the entire house is blocked off as a crime scene, and they also have individuals in, officers, we believe, processing things in the backyard, because like I said, the entire house, and not only the house but the yard, and these seem to be, everybody's seemingly is on a 1 acre lot, which is very common in West Greenwich, or at least 1 acre lot. So now I want to we're going to relocate just a little bit if we can. I recognize people want more information, and I also recognize that people feel that what we're saying is redundant in any way. But we have new people joining at different times. Okay, I just want to make sure we weren't missing anything that was being processed. Now that's just them on the side of the house. But again, it's my understanding that what you're looking at is a major incident has taken place here. And I don't say that mildly. And let's see. I almost want to talk in code a little bit, but I don't want to confuse people or put out any wrong info. But we obviously have a very serious situation, tragedy here in West Greenwich. And from what I know about it, but we're going to wait for the chief to confirm everything, I will tell you, it's one of those stories that you just kind of, you shake your head and you think, how could anything like that happen? So, but again, right now it's 1:15 on this Friday, and I think it's going to be a while. The fact that the state police are also here, initially an officer said that the chief would talk to us. I'm hopeful that that's still going to happen. You can see right now some more officers, state police, going into the house. So they're still processing the crime scene. Obviously, and I want to also stress that what you're looking at is mobile crime laboratory. So what does that tell us? Well, it certainly tells us that they do believe, in fact, a crime happened here, committed here. So again, at the risk of being redundant, we are right now on our multiple platforms. We are live on Facebook. We are live on TikTok. I want to encourage everyone on TikTok. Look at that. We're almost at 8,000. Share that you are watching. Tap the screen. And then obviously we're live, The Real News, on AM 1380, 99.9 FM. And then you can always listen online at our website, which is depetro.com. So right now, we've had... Now that man is just walking up right now, and I don't know who it is. But we are coming to you from outside of this home in West Greenwich, Rhode Island, where a story that will be a national story is still, it's seemingly in its infancy. As you can see, the State Police Mobile Crime Lab, where they're on scene, and they're now just processing it. So I'm not convinced that individuals that may have, let me say it this way, I now, it's very possible the victims involved here, in fact I'd lean towards, are still in fact inside this residence. So again, this is one of those situations, if people would read between the lines a little bit. Let's see. We've had some horrible. There was a bad situation, if you remember, in the spring with what's his name, Joe Francis, took the life of his wife Stephanie Francis. But with this situation, boy, you can really see the detective right there taking the photos. So they're really just processing this scene right now. For those that are watching, if you're familiar with the Lindsay Glancy case out of Massachusetts, but not female, not in that particular case, the Lindsay Glancy case, it was the mother that, and she is going to be on trial for that. But it's my understanding that we've had a horrible tragedy here involving a young family, and instead it would be the male resident of the home that, it's my understanding, committed the act and then unalived himself. So now, as I said, folks, we're trying to be very cautious with this due to the sensitive nature of it. Sometimes with Rhode Patrol, we're out and it's, it's just maybe something involving firearms, something like that. This is far more serious due to the nature also of who it is that's involved with it. So I recognize right now, if you're watching, and I want to reset and recap here right now at 1:20 on this Friday, January 3rd, what you're looking at and listening to. This is West Greenwich, Rhode Island, where there's been a horrific, horrible incident involving this residence that is a full crime scene, where you see the Rhode Island State Police Crime Lab, Mobile Crime Lab, is on scene with, obviously, the state police are assisting West Greenwich. The reason why, by the way, is West Greenwich, they don't handle a lot of homicides. I don't think we had a homicide in West Greenwich. I don't remember the last time we were out here for any type of homicide. But it's my understanding that when you hear the story in the news break, and right now they're still investigating, as I mentioned earlier, a member of the West Greenwich Police said the chief is here and would be giving some kind of press statement. But I also said they're very early in this. Now, I think this is interesting. An individual that did arrive is then sharing some information with law enforcement. So I'm not exactly sure. Or the police right now, as we speak, are canvassing the neighborhood and still going door to door. But I want to recap the scene. We're in a dead-end street in... Good. Oh, hey, Chief. Oh, good. Hey, Chief, give me 1 second, okay? Oh, good.
I'm not going to take any questions.
I understand.
I'm just going to give you a soundbite.
Okay.
I'll give you something.
Hold on one moment, Chief. Okay, everybody stand by as we have... Oh, hold on. Hold on 1 second, Chief.
Do you mind just saying and spelling the first and last name, stating your title first?
Sure, it's Chief Richard Ramsey, RICHARD, So all I can tell you right now is from the beginning of this investigation, we did help this, enlisted the help of the state police to help us with the crime scene investigation. I do want you to know there's no danger to the public, but I really can't take any questions or answer any questions or give you any more information at this point. But I do want you to know that there's no danger to the public at this point, and the investigation is ongoing. And I will be back when I can share more information. We had to wait I know you've been out for a little bit. We had to wait a little bit to get a search warrant signed before we can go into the house and do our investigation. So with that being said, please reiterate to the public that there is no danger to them. It's confined to the home, and we'll provide more information when it becomes available. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Chief, can I ask one question?
No.
All right. Well, there you had it. They had to wait for the search warrant. That actually answers my question. And the question I was going to ask was, has the medical examiner been on scene? But I already know the answer to that because the chief said. So that is the chief, Chief Ramsey, who also, by the way, I want to reiterate, said they would be back a little bit later, give us some more information, unknowingly, but he actually answered my question, and I'm not trying to be a wise guy for everybody that's watching. The question I was going to ask is if the medical examiner had already been there, but he that they he already answered that question by basically saying what we had thought, which was they had to wait for the search warrant. So again, I want to repeat, the chief was very clear, didn't want to take any questions on it. Right now, it is 1:24, and you're watching and listening to our live coverage. This is a real tragedy that has taken place here in West Greenwich, and right now, if they had to wait to get the search warrant, then I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to be redundant on that, but I find he said a lot by not saying anything. Let me say that, folks. And this also confirms kind of what we had been hearing, which is why the police were in the front, why they had to wait for the search warrant, and everything else seemingly that's kind of involved with this. So now, for those that are just tuning in, we've had, what you're looking at is live coverage. We've had a real tragedy here in West Greenwich, Rhode Island, where police right now are on scene, and they're on scene with, it's the West Greenwich Police and also the Rhode Island State Police. And what you can see is they are processing this home and residence right now. So that's also going to reiterate what I initially had thought, which was that I would think that everything is still in place as they found it. Now again, this whole area, folks, state police are still going door to door here, and I think it's actually I think it's gonna be a while before we get any real details on exactly what they can tell us. But I also, yes, yeah, yep. Folks, as we've talked about, and I've mentioned, holidays can be a very difficult time for people, and is seemingly, without knowing all the details yet, and it's of a very sensitive nature, but people can react differently. Some of the questions I was going to ask is, could he confirm whether the medical examiner has been here? The answer would be no. In fact, he said they had to wait for the warrant. Number two, I am curious to find out how they ended up at this residence and what drew them to. Many times, for those of you that watch Rhode Patrol live, and again, good afternoon, everyone. We are live right now on both Facebook and on TikTok. Remember, if you're watching, make sure you follow the page. But what I wanted to mention is that many times when we're out on Rhode Patrol, we see police and they get a call on a well-being check. And that's, in essence, what this is. This is police were somehow called to this home for a well-being check. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to relocate. So if you're watching, we're not going anywhere. So, but I need to relocate. Can I walk in front of you? Okay. Need to relocate because I want to make sure we can stay live, and we want to make sure we have all our proper equipment so I can keep talking. Again, what is also unusual, you obviously have the entire street is blocked off with local law enforcement, and parked the wrong way. All right, everybody bear with me because we're going to stay alive here. But let's see. We're going to, again, due to the nature of this, that's why this is no small investigation, and we're going to stay live. Let me just see. I think we can flip around. Yeah, all right. If everybody's just patient, we can certainly make this work. And again, bear with me just because I scrambled to get on scene. We got on scene. It's we're dealing with the weather elements, and then we want to make sure that we have everything working properly so we don't lose our coverage. Hold on. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust just a little bit. We're going to adjust just a little bit. If everybody's patient, let's make this work. Again, I want to this, and then from West Greenwich, where obviously we've had this horrible situation. You know, we don't see. I don't know if I've ever dealt with that chief before. And I'm just gonna, if everybody's just be patient, we're gonna attempt to. Oh, wait a minute. TikTok doesn't let you do that. All right. I forgot about that. We can't drive with TikTok. Let's see. All right. We can do this. All right. Then what we're going to do is we're going to stay outside. I forgot about that. All right, everybody. I Again, I'm not trying to seem haphazard here. I just don't want to lose juice. And it'll be worth it. Again, I'm also struck by the nature of this, that this is one of those stories that even though it's a brand new year, I think when this story hits, it's one of those stories that will then really resonate. And as I mentioned, folks, and I don't say this lightly, but what you've been watching coverage of is in fact, it's not a small story, and it's a really sad story, and it's a tragic story. All right, I think we're going to be okay. And it's going to be a story, just bear with me, that's going to resonate for quite some time. So now, right now, and I appreciate everyone's patience, at 1:33, you're watching our live coverage. We're just going to relocate our battery for our TikTok crowd. Now remember, if you're on Facebook, you want to make sure you follow the page. I want to thank JR for all of his assistance. It's not easy trying to do this, and it's not easy trying to do this in these weather conditions that we're dealing with. But it can be done, and we're going to pull it off right now. But folks, we wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for the nature of just how serious this story is, and the importance of the story and the magnitude that the story is. Okay, there we go. I think we're going to be okay. So if everyone's just patient and we manage to do that, again, I get that it must sound like we're a little bit in and out, but I did what I had to do. Again, when we were coming out for this, I had no reason to believe that we were going to be out at a story of this magnitude. And if everyone's just patient one more time, we're going to be able to get back to where we were. Okay. Now again, it's Friday afternoon. You're watching. There we go. Our live coverage. Just do that. Okay. Okay, and we're good to go. Good. Okay. And let me just do this. Again, I appreciate everybody. I know that people would like to get more information, and I'm trying to balance some of the information I have with trying to be respectful that we don't fully have everything just yet. So because of that, this is not a situation certainly that we certainly don't want to go wrong. And this is also the real news. We're on AM 1380. We're going to go back to our spot. Okay, there he is. All right, right here. All right, now again, folks, and I appreciate everyone's patience. I know it must seem a little haphazard. It's because it is. No, it's the challenge is the weather is certainly a challenge on a broadcast like this, and then also trying to get as much information of people that I want to point out. Some people are very helpful in trying to give me information, and we've actually already provided you with a lot more information than I can tell you that other people have. So, yes. Okay. Now, right now, let me stay on track here. It's 1:37, and what you're looking at, and I do have people that have information. I love that. I do have information from people that do have details about this particular situation, but we're gonna be, due to the nature of this and how sensitive it is at 1:37. I can tell you that it's just too important of a story to speculate. I mean, every story is important, but a story of this magnitude and what we're talking about and what's involved. But I can share with you that it sure seems that we've had a real tragedy here in West Greenwich, and this could be quite a long afternoon, and I can't imagine someone trying to call me at this time as we're live. But right now at 1:38, we are live in West Greenwich, and where we've been now. Now, we got here, I'm not exactly sure what time, but we got here after 12 o'clock, and I don't understand that. Let's see, and I want to just, okay, I'm trying to, all right, it's 1:38, it's Friday afternoon, and right now, we continue our coverage as we are in West Greenwich for this breaking news scene here, where police are on scene. Rhode Island State Police and West Greenwich Police are inside this home on a dead-end street in West Greenwich, where on top of that, as I mentioned earlier, we did hear from the chief briefly. He couldn't really say anything, or wouldn't really say anything. And then what we have is that there's a major investigation inside, and it is my understanding that we have multiple victims involved here, and it is also my understanding that this seemingly is one of those situations, folks, we hear about where, for whatever reason, a family member, not only decides to do self-harm, but they decide to also unalive everyone else. That's my understanding of what the police are dealing with right now. And I wouldn't be saying that if I didn't feel confident about it. So now, right now it's 1:40. So we went live here at 12:20. Yep. And we're going to stay here on scene until we get some sense of exactly where this story's going to go. This is one of those situations. If you're watching, I do like to, if you're watching on Facebook, you want to make sure that you're following the page. And on both platforms, there's certainly ways to say, boy, I really appreciate the coverage. I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to, I want to tell you what I'm looking at. And what stuck out to me when I first arrived was, number one, all the different police vehicles that were on the street. But what really stands out here is the entire home is blocked off as a crime scene. So I want to, that's the first thing that jumps out at you. For anyone I notice that is entering the street, one of the first things that jumps out is just the fact that the entire home is in fact a crime scene. And that is something we certainly don't see a lot. where the entire property is. It's not just the inside of the home, it's the entire property that they have this yellow crime scene tape. And I could see some toys and things like that in the back. So you can imagine that just, those two things should never match. But I can tell you, it's a very quiet neighborhood. You see people obviously still have their Christmas wreaths up. We're still just right after New Year's. And it's a dead-end street, and I would imagine that this is West Greenwich. Not a lot of things happen in West Greenwich. Certainly don't have a lot of police activity in West Greenwich, but we certainly have enough police activity today. And I also want to be clear, folks, as I was mentioning, I know it sounds cliche, but at 1:42 on this Friday, as I've mentioned, the holidays can be a very difficult time for various individuals, and this is going to be one of those stories that is very, very puzzling when people get details and learn about. But I do want to respect, when I asked the chief, could I ask one question, and you could tell he said shot it down. I have a feeling a lot of times, those of you that watch and listen know that we cover a lot of stuff. Sometimes people put out information that people are not crazy about, but the story is the story. And I also want to point out, now today is Friday. We started the week on Monday at that police standoff in the city of Warwick. And then New Year's Eve and New Year's Day led into these bizarre situations playing out in both New Orleans and in Las Vegas. So I think it's an understatement. There's definitely, for whatever reason, maybe it is the holidays. Maybe it's the holidays that some people are just really struggling with and having a difficult time with. But I think this is one of those stories, based on what we know so far, that when people hear it, they're going to wonder how anyone could do anything like this. And I admit, it is a puzzle. But folks, when you hear about that New Orleans suspect individual, his first inclination was he was first going to, I believe it's been reported, was going to harm family and friends, and then decided instead he changed his mind and went to the general public. So now right now at 1:45, I want to tell you what we know, which is I arrived here on the scene, and shortly after 12 o'clock, right now it's 1:45 in the east, and at that time the crime scene tape was up. It was obviously a huge police presence. And then since we've been here, outside of this residence in West Greenwich, since that time, we've seen a huge number of Rhode Island State Police have arrived. They had someone standing guarding the door while they were getting the search warrant for the home. The state police arrived on scene, and with the West Greenwich Police, Rhode Island State Police and the West Greenwich Police began canvassing the neighborhood, going door to door with the neighbors. The police chief came out briefly just a short time ago and said he wouldn't take any questions, and he didn't, but basically said he would think that they may be able to speak to us a little bit later on, that they had just received the search warrant, and that they were processing the scene. And then as we were live, you saw the Rhode Island State Police mobile crime laboratory pull up. So that's right now, as you pull up and you see the house and the property with the crime scene tape up, and then you did hear from the police, so you have the West Greenwich Police and the Rhode Island State Police. investigating this. That's all that we're looking at. Now, inside of this, for those of you that follow, and again, right now, we are live on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. And I want to thank JR for his cooperation with this. We're live on the radio and on the website, dpetro.com. Now, we're also live on both TikTok and Facebook. And all I ask the people that are on TikTok and Facebook is make sure you follow the page. And it's different for each one. You can tap the screen. Again, on TikTok, whether it's a cap or a donut or confetti or some whatever, goes a long way. Facebook, most of the time people know the deal. But what we've learned since then from various sources that I have is that this is sadly a very tragic scene that we're looking at where, and as I said, multiple individuals seemingly, and one of those things you can never understand, members of a family, and it's my understanding that, you know, when you have a family, it's even, I'm hearing, and I'm going to be very cautious about this, but I'm hearing that it was also a growing family when this incident seemingly happened. So not only do you have a family, not only do you have a child, but it's my understanding that the family was expanding, which makes it even more puzzling, which makes it even more difficult to process. Because I view one of these stories, and wherever you're listening or watching, you will see this story in the news. Due to the nature of this tragedy, and it is a tragedy, due to the nature of it, this will be a national story. And I don't mean for weeks, but certainly for when it hits them. So wherever you're watching or listening, I think this is just, to me, it's one of those stories that it doesn't make sense. They never make sense because they don't make sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Where an individual intent on self-harm, but before they do that, they harm the individuals closest to them. And thus, that's why, I mean, this is a pretty big police presence out here, obviously, with good reason. And I the reason I want to clarify that right now at 1:50 on this Friday, January 3rd, is one of the reasons I want to clarify that is, I mean, I get, you know, we